All right, y'all. We're gonna move to the public safety portion of what's going on. That's going to be done by me and my brother Tony Perkins. So let me get over here. All right. I guess you could start and then I'll chime in. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it that way.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tony Perkins, aka TP, and welcome to the Ward F Community Forum. I'm excited to be here, in the good company of all these good people, giving you all that good information, just to inform some of you on something you might already know, and most of you on something that you don't know, and that's the worst.
Yes.
Not knowing. But I was that guy, when it came to internal affairs. I heard about it, but didn't really know about what I'm about to share with you guys. First and foremost, I just want to inform you guys that the location of the Department of Internal Affairs is 1 Journal Square Plaza, 4th floor, Jersey City, New Jersey, 07306. The number is 201-547-5472. And I just wanted to give a little brief rundown on what internal affairs entails and what they're responsible and accountable for. Internal Affairs Unit monitors the actions, behaviors of Jersey City Department personnel, ensure, the compliance with department rules, regulations, policy, Attorney General guidelines, directives, and city ordinances, as well as the state and federal law, which is very important. Internal Affairs Unit has the responsibility to investigate all allegations of misconduct involving sworn members of Jersey City Police Department. The Internal Affairs is so important. It's kind of funny because I just had a run-in myself with Internal Affairs last night, and just filing a complaint. A lot of these situations take place here in Jersey City. A lot of incidents take place. And I just want to touch on one, the reason why, and it states, their obligations, additional to this investigative, any other actions or inaction by any officer that may demonstrate they are unable, unwilling, or unfit to perform their official duties. And we kind of witnessed that a lot here in Jersey City. And just to bring up one incident that definitely required an internal affairs situation was the situation in the square, where the officer was off duty.
Okay.
And had an encounter with a citizen up there. And just situations like that, makes internal affairs so important. We have to be aware of these things. Just like we know where our community libraries are, we need to know where internal affairs is.
Absolutely.
And the importance of filing a complaint and just knowing how to file a complaint. They have a form, and what's most important about that form is just detailing everything, because the more information that they have on paper, they can really kind of assess everybody and help everybody with their concerns. And that's very important, and we already know a complaint should be filed when you witness or experience a personal encounter with Jersey City Department personnel that involves criminal conduct, misconduct, abusive or discriminatory behavior, neglect of duty, etc., or violation of rules and regulations of the Jersey City Police Department. And which is very important. And next, I want to just touch on the process of submitting the complaint. And what we need to know is complaints are accepted 24 hours, 7 days a week. By either an internal affairs officer, a police supervisor, or necessary any available police officer. So that's what we need to be mindful of too. Like, this don't just have to happen at a specific time. 24/7 you can file a complaint. And you can download the complaint form, because we need to know about the necessary information that that's going to be required, and how to fill out these forms. And what it entails is pretty much, the body of the incident that took place, and just giving all detailed information. And what's mostly important also I want to talk about is how complaints are investigated, which we all need to know.
Absolutely.
It's very imperative that we all know how these incidents are reviewed up at Internal Affairs, and make sure they are in our favor, if need be. And pretty much, I think that's pretty much.
Yeah, and also just to throw a few more details to the internal affair process and why it's important, because so many times, right? And before I even continue, this is not trying to attack the police or anything. In fact, in essence, this actually shed light and protect the officers that's doing what's right, because as we file internal affair complaints for excessive force, misuse of force, or inappropriate behaviors from the individuals that's bad, we begin to weed them out and build a better relationship with the officers who's abiding by the oath that they swore to serve and protect. But why it's extremely important is because if an officer is known to have a track record against him, because odds are, for the most part, the officer is held in high esteem, so they're always given the benefit of the doubt. So if you have 15 people making similar complaints about this same officer in different areas of Jersey City, odds are they're going to be more likely to believe the citizens, because there have been a track record on file of this officer's misappropriate behaviors. And as recently, even the county prosecutor is basically saying that it's hard for her to essentially do her job when individuals whom the community is saying was violated, subsequently those individuals don't go and file internal affair reports. So it's extremely important that we begin to file these reports and make sure that these reports are accurate, reported as soon as possible, because we are all humans, and once time lapse, we tend to forget things that transpired. So try to do it as quick as possible. Case in point, when police officers have to do police reports, they don't wait the next day to do the police report. They do it right after they apprehend the suspect and they get to a location where they're allowed to do that. So if you feel that you have been harassed, excessive force, or anything due to that type of situation or anything to that magnitude or nature, please report that to the Internal Affairs here in Jersey City. Again, you can always reach out to me. I will put you in contact with people who's savvy and going to help you file reports, walk you through the steps. In some instances, you may even get a ride to go and file the police report, because we want to make sure we're advocating for our most disadvantaged individuals in the community. So moving right along with public safety, right? I want to talk about supportive services, and I want to talk about why these supportive services are necessary and why we must use them. The first reason why we must use them is because our tax dollars already pay for them. These are grants that these entities get to deal with these type of situations. And another thing why it's very important that we utilize these entities, because you guys seen it happen over and over when the police are called when an individual is having some type of mental incapacity or a mental episode, and the police is called there. And a lot of times, because of the relationship with police and community, when that individual who's having that episode sees them, it kind of intensifies the situation. So that's why we need to be calling the appropriate authorities to handle the appropriate things. So I'm going to just give you in a glimpse, and again, we're going to put all of this on our page so you can have access to call, to go on these individuals' websites, to be able to email them, and make sure that you're utilizing the resources. So we have all type of grief support, domestic support, and it's extremely important that we know this, right? That we know this. I vividly recall, right, losing my father when I was young, losing my mother, losing a best friend, losing a close friend, losing a brother whom I hung out with. And I've never been to counseling in my life. One, because I didn't know that the resource existed, and two, because of the perception of mental health services in the Black and brown community. So I want to make sure I'm doing my due diligence as it relates to providing the information to these entities, right? So again, we're going to post all of those entities on our Facebook page. And something that's extremely important, right? If you follow crime, right? And I'm not just talking about people who always, pop up when a topic is hot, right? If you follow crime, you notice within about the last 18 months or 2 years, all of the violent crime in Jersey, in the state of New Jersey, were perpetrated by young males, i.e. teenagers and young adults. There is services in line for those individuals to get some form of intervention. There's clinicians available, there's mentors available, there's therapists available. You can call Perform Care to have social workers come out to your house to figure out what services best suit the situation that's going on. Also, let's say we have a dire situation, right, where I don't know, a kid may be thinking about cutting itself or doing something to itself. We can reach out to medical center. We can reach out to mobile crisis where they'll be able to intervene immediately. So there's a plethora of organizations, and they're even taking it a step further. So many times we see disagreement and conflict within the family environment. We even have a county agency that do family counseling. Right. I know a lot of times I've sat in on those meetings, and a lot of times it's just miscommunication between the child and the mom, or miscommunication between the dad and the child. And when they go to counseling and they iron things out, and they be like, "Oh, well, it was only that," So that resource is available. We must make sure how Raz Baraka say we must hold a line. We must make sure we're holding a line and we're doing this thing together. So there's a plethora of resources. We need to utilize these resources to make sure our kids are getting the necessary services. And I'm going to say this before I get out of here, people. Namely to my brothers and sisters, listen. It's not a knock on you if your child have some type of mental health illness. It's nothing you've done as a parent. We need to get rid of this negative stigma that's associated with getting our children help, because we can put it off and just laughing, think he's gonna outgrow it, and then subsequently if he end up harming someone that's detrimental, or he end up being killed because of his actions, then we have done a disservice to our most disadvantaged demographic. So again, these links are going up, these contacts is going up. Utilize the links. How people call me, and I have no problem with y'all calling me. Make sure you call them. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. We're going to do closing. We're going to do closing remarks, and we're going to talk about the future agenda. But before we get into that, right, I do want to thank the individuals who hacked the Zoom, and I also want to thank the individuals who attempted to hack my Facebook page, because you have just inspired me to go even harder than when I was going. So I really want to thank you for your due diligence as it relates to trying to cause a chaotic scene as we try to put on a forum to help individuals in our community. So thank you very much as it relates to that.